so all of this, you've gone from doing the, wheelchair disability advocacy.
Yeah.
It grew into this project that turned into like, hey, I'm going to figure this thing out. Come hell or high water.
Yeah.
And you've gone through this whole process. Now you want to help continue to educate people on how this process works. And you mentioned, so let's go a little bit deeper into meeting with your local state rep.
Yes.
And so give some detail on what you're working on in regards to a bill with the local state rep.
Yes. And this is where I think developers will be very excited.
Yeah, we've kicked around some ideas. My partner Phil's over here watching the podcast. He hasn't heard this part, but this is where I get excited.
So one of my big things is, because I'm an advocate, and one of my whole plights on my Instagram is I kind of like to look out for the little people and, protect. There's new injuries that come along that get taken advantage of with all these vulnerable schemes and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's kind of just who I've always been. If it happened to me and I didn't like it, I don't want it to happen to someone else. So I ended up getting a hold of Justin Olson, and I was like, listen, we need to protect the people.
We're going to tag at Justin Olson when we put this in.
We should. Hello, Justin. Miss me? Just kidding. He doesn't. I'm a firecracker. He was like, holy smokes. So him and I were talking. There is a bill that I am hoping we'll introduce, and we're going to start writing it this summer, researching it currently, introducing next session right at the beginning. And that is, it's going to protect residents. So if somebody, it's easy to establish residency. They can even set up their own. You have to live there for 3 years. I don't care what. But then that way, if you're somebody that's rezoning your residential property, you can't be required to donate via right-of-way dedication. You need to get just compensation. The second, which makes so much sense, and I understand, we'll get into a little more detail about it, but that's the first part. The second part is developers do not get any type of tax credit, write-off, nothing when it comes to right-of-way dedication. Their value of land is depreciated by the loss of the utility of that section. They should have a tax credit or write-off. And the great thing is, Justin said, I've never met a tax credit I don't like. And I believe him, right? So
and we talked about putting like a ceiling on that too. So like you mentioned, helping the little guy, obviously people might look at a developer and say, oh, you're going to make money on this deal. But you've met us now and you see like we bust our butt to try and do projects, and we're not.
But beyond that, we want development. Okay, yeah. Development brings money in all kinds of aspects.
Tax dollars, all kinds of stuff.
Yes, and if you make development, if you make it more appetizing, we're going to have more development, which is good. And then that will make up for the loss of revenue, supposedly, that they have, obviously, because you're going to adjust your income as a company based off of let's say it's $1 million. But the great thing for people to recognize is, don't forget, it's not a full $1 million. It's the taxes you would pay on that $1 million. So it's going to be a lot of money at the end of the year, and I know that. And that's who our fight is going to be. It's going to be Katie Hobbs. It's not going to be about it. But the thing is, I think it makes sense, and with the right exposure, I think there's a lot of groups that will support it, and it will promote development. And, it's just like, it's like certain states that make themselves better for LLCs. They rack in that dough because people file their LLCs there. Mm-hmm. There's something to making yourself that shiny object where somebody wants to go. So that's kind of what I'm hoping we can sell it as. We'll see. I'm very excited. I think if it's written well, it'll do well.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, want to catch the entire episode of this Rent Stew podcast, click right here. If you're loving the Rent Stew podcast and you want to see more episodes, click right here. And as always, Stay hungry, my friends.